learn AWS?
Yes, I'm new to AWS. I've done a bit of work on Azure. But I just wanted to get some Azure training and do some certification.
Okay, so are you familiar with any of the cloud services before this, or any of the classical VMs?
Not on AWS. I'm familiar with Azure.
Oh, you're familiar with Azure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this should not be a difficult one. Okay. Okay. So to start off with, I'll just show you the course content first of all, and then most probably we'll take any one of the demo sessions where we randomly pick any one of the topics and we'll try and learn about it. And that's so that you get an idea about it, how it is exactly does the course content goes on and stuff like that. Okay, so when it comes to AWS, that we'll be learning in AWS. Okay, that will cover EC2, EBS, AMI, ELB, security group, a bunch of. These are all VM related stuffs. These are all security and networking related stuffs. Static file storage content. This will be that. Then database will be RDS. This is all networking. Then this will be monitoring part. This will be command line utility of AWS, of course. And then this will be logging. This will be queuing. This will be caching. This will be DNS. This will again be monitoring. This will be container, and this will be orchestration. Okay. So
this is mainly on a DevOps course or something.
Sorry.
Is this the DevOps course?
No, this will be so basically when most of the guys come, they prefer DevOps plus AWS. So out of that, I will be telling you about. I'll be skipping all of the part that is inside in DevOps, and I'll be covering only AWS inside of it. Okay. So basically, long story short, after taking up this, after learning all of this content together, you should be pretty much comfortable in taking up Amazon AWS associate level solutions architect.
Yeah, so that's this one I wanted to do, certification.
Yeah. So yeah, after taking up this one, all of this course content, you should be pretty much comfortable taking up that.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay. So to start off with, first of all, you need to have an Amazon AWS account. First of all, to start off throughout this course, you need to have an Amazon AWS account. For that, all you need to do is just go to google.com and search for something like AWS, Amazon, or something like that. Just head, click on sign in, sign up, whatever that is, and try and create an account for yourself. Whenever you're trying to create a new account, first of all, it will ask you for basic form filling details, username. As a part of registration fees, it will charge you $1. It will charge you $1. That will be the initial amount that it will charge you. And after that, the rest of the course will cover up in the free tier. So whenever you create a new account in AWS, it by default comes with a free tier for 12 months. Yeah. So I'll just give you an idea about it. The free tier is in such a way that you'll get the licensed version, then you have to pay for the license as well. In our case, we'll just select Ubuntu 16.04. So that will end up in the free tier in AWS. So let's go ahead and select that. In this screen, I have to select that what should be my server type. Server type as in how many cores of CPU it should have, what should be the RAM capacity of it, and stuff like that. If I scroll below to the end of it, I can see like very massive servers. Like this is a server with 64 core CPU and 488 gigs RAM. So there are a bunch of different CPUs that you can select from. If you see this one, this is a 128 CPU with almost 1952 gigs RAM. So there are many massive servers that you can select out of it. So for our purposes, we'll select the T2 micro that is under the free tier eligibility, and then we'll click on next. Here is the place where I'll select how many number of servers do I want. Let's say if I want 10 of such servers, I'll select 10. If I want 100 of such servers, I'll just go ahead and select 100. As of right now, let's say that I want only one of these servers, I'll select. The rest of all of these options, those are networking related options, how to create a VPC and stuff like that. This is something that we'll talk later. so that things doesn't confuse you at the very
Yeah. Okay.
So let's only concentrate on the very first option, that is the number of instances. So as of right now, let's say that I know only one instance and this will be it. So now let's go ahead and click on next. Here I have to select that what should be the hard disk capacity. Remember, here I am selecting what should be the hard disk capacity. In the previous screen, I was selecting what should be the CPU and the memory capacity. That is the RAM and the CPU cores. In this screen, I'm selecting what should be the hard disk capacity of my server. So I'm saying that my hard disk should be an 8 gigabytes hard disk. And let's say you can select any one of these. You can select it to be a general purpose SSD hard disk or one with a provisional IOPS. That will means it will have high buses running, high cables buses running, so that with higher throughput. Or else you can simply select magnetic. In our case, we'll select magnetic and we'll click on next. This is the place where you name your server. And here is where Amazon AWS comes with a unique stuff. Here you can, when you name the server, you can select the key as well as the value inside it. You can select the key as well as value. For an example, my key will be my name and my name will be the actual value. Okay. So whenever you're naming the server, you have to select the key as well as the value of it. So my key is my value. So my key is my name and my value is the actual name, that is demo. So now I'll select the next. And this is the place where we have our security groups. So security group is something that manages all the port configuration. For an example, if I have a server and there are a couple of different ports, I can manage all of those ports configuration using the security group.
Is it something similar to NSG?
Sorry?
Is it something similar to NSG in Azure?
I'm not sure about Azure. I have not worked on Azure.
Okay.
So yeah, but I'm pretty sure Azure might also be having something similar to this where they have configure all the port configuration. So now let's say that security group, I want to name this. I'll name the security group to be demo and demo. And let's say I want to specify the rules now. As this is a VM and I will have to SSH inside it. So I'll say that port 22 should be open from anywhere. You can either select your IP address, my IP, or something different that you want to select. As of right now, I'll say that it should have SSH access from anywhere. Let's add one more rule and say that it should even have HTTP access. So that we'll install Apache and do a bit of access our website from that. So I'll say port 80, that is HTTP, will also be having access from anywhere. Now I'll say review and launch. I'll say continue with magnetic. And now in this screen, it shows me all the different settings that I've done so far. If you see, at the very first, I had selected what should be the AMI. Then I selected what should be the server type, that is T2 micro, and different stuff like that. Then I'll click on launch. This is the screen where I have to select that which are the different, what should be my SSH key. So as of right now, I already have a key that I have already created, that is Moses. Let's say in your case, you will not have any key. So you will just say create a new key pair, give the key pair a name, for an example demo, and download it. And this will be your private key. And using this private key, you can SSH inside it. In my case, I already have a key pair which I have downloaded. So I'll just say choose an existing one and select my Moses key pair. And I'll acknowledge that I have it and I'll say launch instance. And now if you see, it is giving me an error. It is saying that the security group demo with the name of demo is already there. So let's go ahead and fix that. So I'll say back to the review screen, continue with magnetic, next. I'll scroll below, go to the security group, you see, security group. I'll say edit security group and I'll call this to be demo 0. Let's say demo 077. And I'll say now review and launch, continue with magnetic again, next, launch. Use the key pair that I already have, Moses, launch the instance. And now if you see, my instance is launched. I'll click on view instances and it takes me over here. And this is the server that I had created with the key name and the value demo. This is the name of my server. And when I click on this server and I come here below in the description section, it shows me all the details related to this. For example, the key pair that I had used was pmoses, uh, and a bunch of different stuffs related to this. For an example, like it's private IP address. In a short while, it should even have a public IP address. If you see, it has a public IP address as well. And here it comes with an instance ID as well. And when I click over here in monitoring, here it shows me all the graphs related to, for an example, like it's CPU utilization, disk read write, network in, out, and different stuff like that. So I'll come to the description section. I'll copy the private public IP address of the server. I'll copy this. I'll open my terminal, increase the font size a bit. I'll go to the directory where I have my keys. I'll say ssh-i pmoses ubuntu at the public IP address and hit enter. Now it is asking me, are you sure you want to connect to this? And I'll say yes. So now I'm connected to the server created right now. And as I know that I had selected Ubuntu 16.04, let's go ahead and check if it is actually 16.04. For that, I'll say cat etc lsb release. And yes, it is Ubuntu 16.04. And as this is a new server, the very first thing that we should always do is apt-get update to make sure we have all the latest security patches, this and that. So I'll hit enter. Okay, and my server is up and running now. So now let's go ahead and install Apache and do something interesting with this. So I'll say sudo apt-get install Apache 2, enter. Oh, it is giving me an error saying that there's a typo because it should be apt. So I'll say sudo apt get Apache 2, enter. And now it is asking me, are you sure you want to install it? I'll say -y, no, only capital Y, and I'll say yes, I'm pretty sure. Now my server is up and Apache is installed upon. So how do I check if Apache is running? I can just say sudo service Apache 2 status, and I can see that Apache is up and both. Okay. So now I want to check is what is my root document, so I can place a hello world.html inside my root document and access it from my browser. So I'll just say sudo, use the editor nano. In your case, you can use vi nano, whichever you want, matter of your choice. I'll go to this directory, etc Apache sites, enable 0 default. And if I scroll below, here you can see that my document root is var www. Okay. So I'll just go to that directory, var www, HTML, and I'll create a file for myself. I'll say nano hello world .html. And now it is giving me an error saying you don't have permissions. I'll hit Control X and just add a sudo in front of it. Sudo nano hello world HTML. And say hello world. This first static website. I'll hit Control X while I do it. I'll just check the file once again by hitting cat, and my file looks good. So I'll just come here, select my instance, come to the description section, copy the public IP address, and I'll try hitting this from my browser. And I'll give the name of the file, that is hello world.html. And now if you see, my website is up and working. Okay, perfect. So far, any doubts?
No, that's good.
Okay. So now, if you see, the problem with my website is, if I go to Google, I go it by hitting google.com. If I want to go to flipkart.com, I go by hitting Flipkart. But in my case, I have to go by hitting the IP address, which is weird, right? So let's go ahead and purchase a domain name for ourselves and then try accessing this. For that, I'll go to a website called as freenom.com. So in case you're wondering, Freenom is something similar to GoDaddy, but in Freenom, you are eligible for free domains. So once you visit this, you might have to click on sign in or sign up and again create your own account. It will not ask you for any of the payment details. Don't worry about it. And it will be a free website. Okay. So it is freenom.com. So in my case, I'll just click on sign in as I already have an account and I'll say login with Google. I'll click on services, register a new domain for myself. And let's register our domain. I'll say Venki Demo. And now it shows me that venkidemo.tk is available for free. I'll say get it now. And I'll say checkout. I'll click on this checkout. And here in DNS, I'll say use DNS. And I'll just come here again in the description section, copy my public IP address. I'll paste it over here for both www as well as venkidemo.tk. And I'll say continue. Yeah, for some reason it asked me to sign in again. So I'll just go ahead and sign in once again. For some reason, it is not allowing me to check out. So let's go to services and try this once again. I'll say register a new domain. Okay, demo, availability, thank you demo.tk, check out, use DNS, I'll paste my public IP address, continue. And now it is giving me an option to complete my order. I'll select this, agree all the terms and conditions. All of my details are already been cached. So in your case, you might have to go ahead and enter your details. And I say complete the order. And my order is complete. So now I'll click on services, go to my domains, and I have see my domain that is here, that is Venki Demo. I'll say manage domain. Come here and click on manage freenom DNS. And here I can see that the mapping is done and the TTL is 300 seconds. So let's wait for 300 seconds. That is around 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, my domain should be up and working. I'll just select this and try and replace this from. So after 5 minutes, my website should be up and working with the domain. So now let's say that if you want to create one more copy of it, I want to create an image of this server and create an exact replica of this server. So how do I do that? So what I can do, I can just select this and say image and say create image. So what this will do, this will create an image of this server. And using that image, I can spin up one more server that will look exactly identical to this server. I'll just say create image and I'll name this image to be demo image for some reason. And I'll paste the same in the description. I'll say that the hard disk should be the same and say create image. And close this. And now if I come to my AMI section, that is Amazon machine image, I can see that one of my image is about to get created. And that is in pending state. So while creating an image, there is one more option. Here, if you see, there is one very small checkbox saying reboot or no reboot. So if I check this no reboot, by that what will happen? It will create an image, but it will take much more longer than the usual time. because in that case it will not reboot the server and try taking an image out of that server. So this is something that will be useful if you're working with an actual production server. If it is not an actual production server and you want the image to be taken out ASAP, so you can just select that, unselect this and say, yeah, please go ahead and reboot it, but get me the image faster, and that will get the image for you. So let's wait for a few minutes until this one comes up and this one also comes up. So let's go ahead and try pinging this and see what does it resolve to. I can just say ping. No, it has not been populated yet. Yeah, my dub has been populated. So let's go ahead and try accessing this using dub. This might not work because of the caching problem. Let's open it in a new tab. Or let's try in an incognito. I guess that has worked. Let's try in an incognito mode to avoid all DNS caching and stuff like that. Let's give it a few more. And now if you see, my website is up and working, and I don't have fuzzy IP addresses, but I have an actual domain name associated to my website. Okay. And this one is also working. And now, meanwhile, if I come here, my image is about to get created. Okay. So now let's say I want to create one more server. But this time I don't want to take an image or something like that. I want to pass a script to it. I want to pass a shell script to it that will do all of this setup and everything for me. So how do I do that? So when I click on launch instance, I select, let's say, as we know, we'll select Ubuntu 16.04. I'll select that it should be 1 CPU and 1 gigabytes RAM. I'll come here. I'll select the number of servers to be 1. And here I'll say advanced details. And here, if you see, it gives me an option of passing user data. User data means you'll write a script over here, basically a shell script that will be executed automatically as soon as the server spins up. That will be executed automatically as soon as the server spins up. So let's go ahead and write a shell script for it. I'll say a bin, a bash. Then we need to do is sudo apt-get update. Then we need to do is install Apache. I'll say pp-get install Apache 2. I'll give a dash y so that it does not hang up around yes or no and stuff like that. Then I'll say I want to create a file. I'll say echo hello world. And I want to create it in var HTML because I know that is my root document. Hello.html. And finally, I need to do is restart Apache. So sudo service Apache to restart. Okay. So what I'm doing this time, I'm just passing a shell script. And what will happen as soon as this instance spins up, this shell script will execute. And as this shell script will execute, it will install Apache, create this file inside var HTML, and then restart Apache for me. Let's add one more line. I'll say hello world. I am coming from user data. And let's go ahead and spin up this server. I'll click on next, add storage. As we know that here we select magnetic hard disk, 8 gigabytes. Here we want to name our server. Let's go ahead and give the key to be named, and the value should be demo user data. Okay, next. Here I'll select the security group. Now, in spite of creating a new security group, as I know that I had in the previous when we were launching images, as we know that we were creating a server, and while creating a server, we had created a security group for ourselves. So let's go ahead and select the same one, the existing one. So I'll say select an existing one, and if I come below, if you see, this was the similar security group that we had created. That was demo 077, and these were the ports that we had opened. So I'll say next review and launch, continue with magnetic, next. Launch again. I'll select the key pair that I already have, pmoses, acknowledge it and say launch. And I'll say view instance. And one more of my server is about to get created over here. Okay. And how do I check the logs of the user data? I can just select the server, come on action, say networking, instance setting, and say get system logs. And once the instance is up and running, in next 5 minutes, I should be able to see all the logs of my user data and stuff like that. How do I check my user data? I can just click on action and say instance setting and say view and change user data. And here I can see that this is the user data or the script that I had passed to be executed. Okay. So far, any doubts in this? Yeah, Venki. So far, any doubts in this?
No, I think it's all good.
All good. Okay.
Yeah. As we speak, I'm just creating an account as well.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. So meanwhile, if I come here to my AMI, if you see one of my server is the copy of this demo server has been created over here.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and spin up a new server from here. So I'll launch instance again. And this time, in spite of selecting a server from this, I'll come and click over here in my AMIs. And here, if you see, here is the image available. This is the image that I had created from the demo server. And I'll say select, and I'll do the rest of the part as it is. Next, one server, magnetic 8 gigabytes hard disk. Let's name this to be demo copy. Security group, I'll select an existing security group that we already had. Demo 077, review and launch. Continue magnetic, next launch, and select the key pair, pmoses, and launch. And view instance. So now if you see, I have 3 servers running. And this demo copy is the copy of this server. And this server we have created from the user data, having user data inside it. So now let's go ahead and connect to this user data server. I'll just come here, copy the public IP address. I'll say SSH-I pmoses Ubuntu, and that is the public IP address. I'll say yes, I'm pretty sure I want to connect to this. Now I'll go to the directory var.html and check if my file has been created. And now if you see, the hello file has been created. If I cat it, you can see the file is already there. Okay, this file is already there because I had passed the shell script that will create a file over here. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I'll come over, and now if you see, my demo copy is already been created. So let's go ahead and connect to this server and check if it is an exact replica of that. Exit out of this as well. Again, paste the public IP address and say yes. Now let's go to our www.html. And now if you see, hello world file is already there. And this file is something that we had created inside our demo server. And demo copy is an exact copy of that server. That is the reason we have this hello world file inside there. Let's say cat, hello world, and the file is already there. Perfect. Okay. So I guess for demo purposes, I guess that should be fair enough. So what I'll do is now just go ahead and terminate this server. In your case, you can, for that I'll select the server action, and I can do any one of these things: terminate, stop, reboot. In my case, I'll just terminate it. But no matter you have stopped the server, Amazon AWS will only charge you for your running instances. It will not charge you for the instances which are in stop state. So in your case, you might just go ahead and stop the servers. In my case, as I don't need them, I'll just go ahead and terminate this. So yeah, I guess, does that give you an